We're not live. Oh. And in typical Gamer Core fashion, we always do it one more time for.
Belches.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gamer Core. I am your host, Mr. Chillzone, aka Keon, whatever you want to call me, and I am here with my beautiful co-host, Luigi.
Why you pointed to the left, bro?
Because
What's up, y'all? You know, yep.
No, I'm talking.
Okay,
Tell
they're
pull
gone.
up.
Damn. Yeah, you wish. You fucking. You the first one to go, bro. That's gonna be running home. I don't gotta be faster than the clickers. I just gotta be faster than you.
And as always, roll. And as always, you guys heard them down below. We have the main host of the main show of the Nerd Core. We have Raul and Brad. Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Yes,
Welcome to the Gamer Core.
Another wonderful day in 8-bit paradise.
And yeah,
we ever got.
No, some investments do pay off, bro.
Right?
Yeah, guys, we're gonna be here for our review of the new episode of The Last of Us Season 1, episode 3, long time. Yeah, very interesting episode today. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of get everybody's general thoughts on the episode.
All right. So
we'll just start below me with Raul. How did you feel about this episode, honestly? As a matter of fact, I'm sorry. My apologies. I'll give you guys a real quick description. Long time is the third episode of the American post-apocalyptic drama series, The Last of Us. This episode was written by series co-creator Craig Mazin and directed by Peter Hoare.
Huh?
It aired
H-O-A-R, bro.
H-O-A-R, Peter Hoare. It aired on HBO on January 29th, 2023. And in the episode, Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, and Ellie, played by Bella Ramsey, travel to Lincoln, Massachusetts to find Bill, played by Nick Offerman. Flashbacks follow Bill over the course of 20 years as he survives in his town and meets his partner, Frank, played by Murray Bartlett. Okay, now, so Raul, you can go ahead.
This has got to be some of the most tender piece of television I have seen in a really, really long time. And usually shows and movies, it's really hard for you to depict a love story in the middle of dystopia, post-apocalyptic sense. And God, this fucking episode did it. And this episode at the same time rips your heart out of your chest, but it's also kind of like holding it, and it's kind of like trying to like caress it a little bit and saying like there's beauty in this really mundane shit world that they live in. And I was in love with this episode. It's gonna be hard for me to say whether it's my favorite, but I would still say that so far I really like the premiere. but this is 100% the second best right now.
Oh, all right.
Brad?
Amazing episode. So definitely keeps your eyes glued.
You didn't even play the games, right? Just
I
for
didn't
the
play
folks.
the game.
Yeah, he
I
does
didn't
this
play the
whole.
games.
So this is like
I'm going in blind, so I
Mhm.
don't even know the characters. I have really no,
attachment to them.
no attachments to any of them,
Mhm.
and they make you care of Bill
Yeah.
and Frank in this, like really care, and it's just great moments overall. This is probably I'll say it, this is my favorite episode. For there's only been 3 episodes, but this is my favorite so far, and
Yeah, I
it's
mean, you
just
can
great
definitely hold
writing
them.
and acting, and Nick Offerman just acted his ass off, and yeah, I mean it's a love story, and to put a love story in basically a zombie dystopia, that's
What
got
do
to
you
be
mean?
difficult.
Let's talk about Warm Bodies, bruh. I never actually seen that movie.
I like
just know
Warm
that it
Bodies,
was-
but that don't hit like this hit.
Yeah, dude.
I know
yeah.
Bill surely did.
He wanted Warm Bodies. He never experienced them. But yeah, dude, this episode was fucking crazy. I just gotta mention. 20 years living. Well, I'd say the first 7 years of those 20 you were by yourself, right? And then the other was with someone. But those 20 years, you ain't gotta worry about bills, electricity. And you had all of that. That man had electricity, hot water, running water.
Well, let's be real. That man had to turn on electricity. He had to go literally to the
Yeah,
power
but
plant.
see, he's
to get
smart
that
enough
shit.
to do that because that
Yeah.
makes sense. And then if that water facility is a recyclable water facility, then there was no need. Because normally some towns don't have that recyclable facility, so it's like they get it off stream. So if something happens where like work has to stop, you're not getting that water unless you have like a team of 10 to 20 people trying to function everything at the same time. But thankfully it seemed like it was a recyclable one. And he lucked out because living with all the like just life of luxury and then chilling and just doing what you like, that's damn, dude. And then not only that, but finding
No
someone that you
spoilers.
can spend it.
No spoilers.
That's
No,
why-
Oh,
no,
okay. I thought you were about to. Okay.
no. Finding someone that you can spend that time with. That's just paradise, honestly. That's just really paradise because I would want to do that. I just disappear, go to an island, build myself a little house, a little sanctuary, find myself a little boo. There we go. That's it. That's all we need. That's all the beauty of life.
You just want someone to spend your days with. Honestly,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's what this whole story was.
Yep.
I mean, outside their little gated community, like it was kind of shit, but inside there, it was just love.
It was well
Mhm.
kept, very well kept. That's surprising, honestly.
I like to say I did. I will say that I definitely enjoyed this episode. Is it my favorite? Probably not. I love the fact that they are deviating from what the game did, because what the game showed, like we
It was our
really-
assumption.
it was our assumption. And I'll get into it later, but there's some things that people like to forget from the game. And I don't know why a lot of people were surprised, because like I said, we'll get into it. But I definitely thought this episode was really heartwarming. Showing and kind of expanding on Bill and Frank's relationship. I think that to kind of go off of what Raul said, to show that there's some kind of that there's like beauty in this post-apocalyptic, nasty, grimy, just nasty, this nasty world that they're living in. It's very it's beautiful. It's a beautiful storytelling, and I love the way that they did this. Because like I said, in the game, like it wasn't really that much expanded upon. We knew that they were in a relationship, but it wasn't really, they didn't go into backstory about Bill or whatever.
Yeah.
None of that was really explained. So I love the way
Yeah.
that they told the story.
Yeah, they definitely did a number in explaining that backstory. I will say, aside from adding it, I wish they would have kept the cursing that he did. He was funny as fuck in the game, just being all
Yeah.
grumpy and shit. And he was
Mhm.
grumpy in this one. He just didn't curse.
Yeah.
But I get it. They were trying to romanticize, but also it's like, isn't that romantic in itself? Like having someone love you for whatever bad qualities you kind of have. Not like very bad qualities, but like enough where it's like, oh, you curse a lot. It's not really a big deal, right? But like, because Bill in the game he was a little bigger, right? He was not the like bigger bodybuilder type like Mr. Ron Swanson is, but like a little bit chubbier, a little bit more thinner hair, something that you wouldn't particularly automatically think of like, oh, he's that, right? But it definitely worked out. And yeah, I mean, this was basically, I saw a tweet that said this is basically a short film inside of a series, which is true, because you could sell me that entire first act without Joe and Ellie, and I'd be like, this is a beautiful fucking first film. It's a
Yeah.
sad first film.
Yeah. True.
And
Also,
yeah,
shout out to Linda Ronstadt. She getting that check.
Really, Ron said, yeah.
yeah, I'll
True.
get into that as well later on. But
But
yeah,
well, yeah, but with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move into our spoiler talk. But before we get into our spoiler talk, I would just like to say rest in peace to the voice actress for Tess, actually in The Last of Us, Annie Wershing. She recently passed away. So I would just like to say my condolences to Annie Wershing's family and friends, and yes, rest in peace to Annie Wershing.
yeah, dude, it sucks to hear,
There's
especially with
a
like the series coming out.
there's a GoFundMe set up for her kids. So
Yes.
I will throw that right now in the chat if I can find the link here. But
Go to
yeah,
Bella
Bella
Ramsey's.
Ramsey's Twitter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
All right, cool, cool,
Mhm.
cool, cool, cool. I got you.
But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move into our spoiler talk. If you have not seen the episode and you care about spoilers, then I want to warn you right now that you need to go ahead and get on up out of here. But if you don't care about spoilers, then stick around. But we're gonna be getting to our spoiler talk in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right.
Keep a finger on the
Long
trigger, bro.
long time. long time. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there because people seem to have forgotten that Bill was of homosexual orientation.
just say
There
gay.
was
It's fine to
literally
say gay.
I, I
That's
let me
such
say
a weird
gay.
way to put it, Keon. What?
Yeah,
Like,
it makes
anyway,
it feel weird.
anyway,
It
bro,
takes tone.
all right,
Hey, nah,
anyway.
I got you. I get you,
Yeah.
Keon. I
Yeah,
get
no,
you.
I get it.
Anyway,
Hosting in
there is a literal scene where Ellie picks up a magazine, a porn magazine that has a dude on it.
Which I demand justice for. I need to see that in the show. I need to see both Joe
Right.
Pedro Pascal and
No,
Bella Ramsey's
and the
reaction.
pages were sticky
Right.
too.
Yeah.
They were sticky.
Supposedly,
They were
yeah.
also sticky.
The way she joked, because she said she was, I'm just kidding, and then threw it out. We don't know. It could be true. I don't know. She left it very in the open.
I
but
mean,
yeah, dude.
well, you could pretty much figure it out. Though.
Yeah. As a guy, you could like. She said Paige is sticky. I'm like, oh no, he has no aim. But yeah,
Or maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
I was just
that's
about
a
to say.
waste of material when you don't have internet access. I would try to maintain that page for as long as I can.
Yeah, but so yeah, people seem to have forgot that. So a lot of people apparently were like, "Wait, he's what?" Which is that I don't know how you can really forget that. Truly, I don't. How do you forget?
You're homophobic.
I knew. I don't know, but yeah. So a lot of people were apparently surprised that that Bill is gay.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Okay, let's ask Brad, because Brad, you haven't seen you haven't played the games. We know,
No,
Yeah,
so
true.
and you know nothing of like Bill the character, but you
Nope.
saw in the trailers, based on just trailer watches, if you even watch the trailers, would you have expected that? Or would you be surprised? Or is it like a big surprise, like, oh, why would they do this? Or it's like, oh, he's gay, cool.
I think the minute you go into his dining room and then you see all his mother's decorations still up in the house,
Uh huh.
you kind of, it's kind of expected. You're like, oh, there's a piano, there's doilies everywhere.
Uh huh.
Like,
Hmm.
most straight males, they don't have that shit. We
See,
have
here's
our shit's dirty everywhere, clothes thrown everywhere. That house was immaculate.
yeah, dude. Honestly, that it went past me because when in this episode, for the people that saw, um he's like he goes with the what got me is like on the radar, right, to show that he was kind of he was a little gay, was the pouring of the wine. Like, unless you're a waiter that's trained to pour
Showing the wine to
wines
people.
and champagnes properly, right, you wouldn't just do it. Because me and my dad, you were like, whenever we were pouring, we just grabbing it by the neck and just pouring
We're
it
drinking
down.
out of the bottle.
Hmm.
One of
Yeah,
them.
but drinking out of the bottle or whatever. But he had that class. He had that elegancy with the moving of the plate. All that doily, I didn't see that. I was like, oh,
Well,
it's not much you can do in an apocalypse to refurnish your
well,
house, right?
and
Hmm.
then there was, when Frank was taking the shower, he brought him clothes that were like fucking folded and pressed.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then not only
yeah,
the
Hmm.
dinner, like it was like the good China out. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
man,
He
I don't
was
even
trying
have
to,
fucking good
yeah, he
He
China.
was trying
wasn't.
to,
He was
yeah,
trying to seduce,
he
bro.
was trying to seduce. Which I get it. 7 years, no one's there, and then like Raul mentioned during the show, he's like, who knows if he even got some before? And he later said that was his first time with a man.
With a man, yeah.
So that means he's been in the closet for a while, and it's like I can understand why. Like the first thing you see, and it's like a guy, and he also so happens to be gay. It's like, hey, why not? Consensually, of course. It's like,
Hmm.
well, I know Speed over here saying who gonna stop me, but like, hey, you have some morals. Hey,
Yeah.
we
Well, and
still got to
also
keep some humanity in there.
you
But
add into the mix, he's a prepper, or I guess they
He's
say
yeah,
yeah,
he's
survivor. So
Survivalist.
when
Yeah.
survivor.
when you
They don't like
when
the
you
word.
first see him in the bunker, you don't really expect it. It's
No,
not
no, no.
until like he comes out of the bunker.
Yeah, that's a full-on Republican until you get to that part. They turned it off. They were with him for the.
I would say more like libertarian, kind of like classically liberal.
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
man's
yeah, yeah.
more of a don't mess with
Don't like,
my life. The
This
government.
man knew how to make a
don't trust the
battery.
government.
He
Yeah,
put battery shit in a fridge and knew how to make a battery. I was
yeah.
impressed. I'm like, wow, if this is what it comes down to, I'm gonna die.
He was trying
I'm
to
gonna
protect
die
his
right there.
identity back in the
An
early
appropriately
2000s.
cast Nick Offerman.
100%.
Yeah, dude. Like half of the scenes, I like. I don't even watch Parks and Recs like that. I just seen clips on TikTok because I like them. So it's like every now I get more. But yeah, that he played Ron. Honestly, if they would have switched the name from Bill and just had Ron, I was like, that makes sense.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty
But
close.
the other part that's just like kind of really heartbreaking about this, and if you really put yourself in his shoes
Mm,
and you really examine this whole situation, this is the first time that Bill has had complete agency over his sexuality.
mm-hmm.
This is the first time that he doesn't have to hide because there's
Mm,
nobody there anymore. There's
yep.
nobody there anymore. There's nobody
Yeah.
that can judge him. That nobody lives with him. Nobody's around him. Like it's just him, and he's able to be completely himself with Frank, and to be able to fall in love with him. And then
Mm-hmm.
you see that in the body language of when they kiss, and it's like part of it is like awkwardness of like, hey, like this is my first time, but also it's kind of like that if I continue this and I keep falling in love with you, like you're eventually going to die. And like what I thought was beautiful was that one line where he's like, every day I look at you and like basically saying like I get sad because I'm getting older and I'm going to leave you one of these days. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to probably die. And it's just the writing was just fantastic in this episode. What the fuck?
Oh,
That's my fault.
Yeah. The writing
Yeah.
was fantastic here.
yeah.
Which, by the way,
especially-
how old the difference? Because I was like, you guys both look around the
they're
same
pretty
age.
old. They look
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
old.
like,
I mean, even Nick Offerman's character, names, please. I know Frank and
Bill.
Bill.
Bill. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Bill,
Yeah. Mhm.
like the ending
Name,
scene,
please.
that
Mhm.
the ending scene, just where he goes, you were my purpose,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
and I was like, man, I feel that.
Yeah,
Like, I
because
totally
yeah,
feel that.
you running around the world like because we all try to find a purpose, right? And then when you meet someone that's like puppy love and like all that, it kind of that's like a glimmer of like, oh, this is kind of what life is about, just being in companionship with someone and kind of doing everything you can to be happy with them. And then especially in a world where everything's just bad, it's like
Bad.
you cannot be happy or let your guard down in this shit,
And
otherwise you
Right.
might die.
I think we can all say Bill was a success at protecting Frank
Oh,
and giving
100%.
Yeah.
Frank at least a
Absolutely.
good life
Took
when
a
he was
bullet
with
for the
Bill.
man, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man's fucking said, "Don't worry, I got all of them, and the rest of them, the fire and my traps will get them." I'm like, what kind of fucking traps did you do?
Nah, he
Man,
did. He definitely did some Home Alone shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
them
Kevin
Like,
shotgun
McAllister,
traps.
bro.
That was
that's
legit.
some jigsaw
Yeah.
shit, bro. He put a tripwire for some flamethrowers that not didn't activate immediately. It let it kind of flow to make the people that got near it like question, like, what the fuck?
That's why I
And
keep
then
saying,
Right.
bro, Kevin McAllister's legacy lives on through the culture of media, man.
I mean,
We
there
he
saw
True.
should
should.
Violent Night. We
there
saw
should be,
Violent Night.
there should be a VHS back there because it's 2003. DVDs still were barely starting to get into a big thing. There's some
Yeah,
VHS around there
yeah.
for
They saw Home Alone. They
they saw
100%
Home
saw
Alone.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think we
dude.
gotta
That.
admit though that Bill was quite talented
Oh yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
at
meant
trap at
talented.
Oh,
every
one hundred
like that
percent.
man
Yeah.
was a genius.
that man
Yeah. He was
was
a
yeah,
survivalist. He had to
Yeah,
learn how to,
yeah.
survive.
Not just
So.
that, having
because
the
no
whole
one was
access
there,
code.
even though like in the game do they tell you how long Bill and Frank were dead before they were found?
So the Bill was alive in the game. We
Okay,
Yeah.
meet him. The
Yeah.
reason we meet
Mhm.
him was to be able to, because it's the Joe knew him that he's like also a runner of sorts.
Mhm.
So Joe needed a car to get
And in the
Ellie.
game,
Yeah,
uh, Bill and Ellie actually do not get along
they
at
fucking
all.
hate each other.
It's so funny.
It's
And
funny as
like
that's what I missed.
I won't say I hate the fact that we didn't get to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I definitely would have liked to see that
At least once.
relationship between, Ellie and Bill, but
Yeah,
it's all good.
it's all right. Yeah, I mean, like
It's, it
his
was
arc was quick. It was like unless you took a while because I died a couple of times. They don't show that in the fucking series.
mhm.
But yeah. So we go to Bill's station and we find out like he mentions every now and then partners slow you down. They're fucking good for nothing because they'll only be a weakness to you and they'll bring you down at the end of the day. It's like so because he's talking shit about Tess too. Is like Tess, why would she make you carry Ellie like across the country? She's just gonna get you killed and whatnot. And then Joe's like, don't fucking
Mhm.
talk about Tess because she already died at that time.
Mhm.
And then at the end is when we find out of the arc is like, oh, the battery kind of like got lost because we were gonna steal it from a crashed Fedra uh transport. It was Frank left Bill because they were like not getting along. They fucking hated each other for whatever reason. They made it very like toxic relationship in the game, and Frank got bit, so he left Bill alone. And throughout the entire time, Bill's just saying how Frank just left him, or like his partner just left him. He never adamantly admits to the name, right? And he even dismisses it
Mhm.
as like just a partner, like a Christian parent saying, "Oh, they're just roommates," kind of in
Yeah.
that tone. And it wasn't until we get to the end of that where we find a letter for Frank, and we find Frank who kind of offed himself by rope in a random house that we just made it to, and that's where we can see the change of tone of like Bill and Frank were more than just
Yeah.
partners. They were actually
Mhm.
like romantically involved, and Bill actually cared. But like he also does this weird thing of like, well, fuck him for that. Um,
Yeah.
and he pulls, he cuts the rope to lay him down and whatnot. But yeah, so in the game is very different from this. We get a different perspective, which Neo, I believe, said even at the beginning, we're gonna see a whole new thing that he wasn't sure back in like the early 2000s when the first game, not the remastered or the PS5 one, but the first game came out where they were hesitant of showing that like gay two men loving each other kind of story arc, and like the times wasn't lined up to be more accepting of how we are now. So I'm glad that he took the approach to show that story.
Yeah.
But it's completely different from series and
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
So
nowhere near as tender in
So
the
do
game.
you like what
Not
they've
not
done?
even close.
Do you like more what they've done with the show, or would you rather seen more from the game perspective?
I like what they did story wise for the show because it kind of helps us understand Bill as a character and why he did the things that he did. But I also would like to that whole point of like because Bill was designed in such a way where you wouldn't expect him to come off as an LGBT member, you know. He's not like the quote unquote stereotype, right? Because it's a spectrum, right? You don't look like you're gay, straight, non-binary, all that, right?
Way back when The Last of Us was on PlayStation 2, or was it 1?
Actually, I don't even know.
Stacy, it was on the that's Stacy trolling you, Luis. The
Oh.
game came out in 2015 or 16.
Was
For
it?
the PS,
It was
PS3.
PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
13.
that's
2013.
early. That's early 2000s.
Yeah. No, it's the 2010s.
That's early 2000s. I don't remember past
No,
anything.
early 2000s is 2000 to 2000.
I came into consciousness by 2010, so that's my beginning.
Oh my god, bro!
Does that work, man?
The classic flat.
No, I gotta fix it.
The flat PS.
Might as well
flat
take it.
PS2,
Yeah.
bro.
But
You lucky
Been using it
bastard.
as a coaster.
Oh god,
oh
Brett.
no, collectors would fucking eat you alive, man. But
Oh my
I'm
God,
like
truly.
50-50. I like the story of the series and how they're portraying it, but I like a little bit more in terms of like I get why they chose Linda for the songs, right? Pero in the game, going through all that and getting closer with Ellie and getting closer with Bill and kind of Joel having to realize with Tess and all that scenarios kind of drives it forward, because by the end of that mission, Joel is more accepting and more protective of Ellie than he ever was by the beginning.
Mhm.
And
He
we also
lays
get
down ground rules.
yeah, he laid some ground rules, which he did,
Which he
before
didn't really care to do, like
Yeah.
when he first met Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he didn't, you know. So now we're definitely gonna start kind of seeing that bond of Joel and Ellie start to form even tighter, because
Mhm.
now it seems like he's trying to be, you know, a lot more protective of Ellie as if she was his daughter.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
because again, he didn't care. Like he didn't give her any rules to follow. He was
Yeah.
just like, okay, I'm gonna get you to this, you know, to this destination, and then I'm done with you. So
Yeah.
and after that, like,
I think the next episode we'll see that it's like that scene in the trailers where it's like you're just cargo and whatnot.
right.
But you could see it in the tone of when Ellie's reading the letter that Bill left. We don't get that in the game. We do get a letter, but it's Frank to Bill, saying how he kind of fucking hated it the entire time, but it was kind of still worth it being with him, even though they were kind of like always fighting and bickering and whatnot. And at the end of the day, he got bit, so he was always right because Bill always warned Frank about that, and whatnot. In this one, we kind of see that revelation of Joel kind of figuring out of like, I guess there is one thing that's good coming from this post-apocalyptic world is that if you find something that's treasurable, do keep it and protect it at all times. And even I think in the podcast for the show, they said that that's what they wanted to portray with that letter, to show Joel realizing how much one test meant. Because in the letter it mentioned Tess, it wasn't about Ellie, right? It was like protect Tess because here's my bunker code. Get your guns, keep Tess safe, and go on with life. And now he has that point of realization where it's like he has to protect Ellie, right? Because not only did Tess sacrifice herself for Ellie, but now Bill and Frank, who were in this, they were basically familiars. They were friends. Bill even said, "I wouldn't technically we're friends. I
Oh,
wouldn't
they
call
even
you a
got
friend."
married.
Yeah, they got married and stuff. And in the game, Bill is always mentioned by Joel as just kind of a partner that they run, like another runner that they've run into doing their little scavenger hunts. And in this one, it definitely shows their friendship a little bit deeper than what we get, which is phenomenal. Honestly, they're doing a really good job with showing that aspect. I don't know if you have any questions on that, but yeah, I mean, it's good. It's for me, it's hard to choose between game and series on that point. Right now, I'm
Yeah,
really
because
enjoying
it's
the
like
story.
there's a lot of like little caveats to adapting the show,
Yeah, the
um,
entirety of a game,
the
you can't do
entirety of the
that.
game into the show.
Yeah, it's
Because
very
I'm
difficult.
seeing people talk about, oh, there's not enough of them like gathering
Scavenging,
material,
yeah.
scavenging and shit like
Little
that. And I'm like,
gears and shit. Well, you can't really do that.
we could literally make an entire show off of them scavenging alone, bro. Like there's no way that y'all actually want to see them scavenging the
Yeah.
entire episode.
I realize I've played the game and I finished it and I have all my recordings and they go out every Monday. They're each like around an hour to an hour and a half, and I think 50% of that hour and a half
just
is just
scavenging.
scavenging and
Yeah,
me
it's
like
scavenging. Yeah,
reading
exactly.
things on the pamphlet, which I realize now maybe not a lot of people do, but I'm doing it for the people that actually care about my reactions to every little bit of the game because it was such a big game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like you can't get everything, and like how they're changing bits of the game into the story, it's really working out because that's not how
I
they got the
cried
truck.
when they left the food not eating. Yeah, Max. It was very very sad. There
Yeah,
were
Leaving the damn bag.
flies and shit all
Bet
on
oh
that
you're
food.
god,
Yeah,
gonna make the best meal and you're gonna leave it
yeah,
there. But
and then just leave it
welcome,
there,
Max.
bro. It was very sad. Well, welcome though. How are you, Max?
they
The
I
had
did
a
li-
garden and everything, so
I
I
did
was like,
like
bro,
the reading of the letter though.
yeah.
Just that
yeah,
That's fucking funny.
You see, Bella Ramsey gets those mannerisms of Ellie so well that like
yes,
Ellie is this
Yeah,
like really like sweet girl when like in deep inside of her she is this sweet little girl who's scared,
yeah.
who's like but also very like curious about the world.
Hmm.
But there's a little mannerisms there that kind of show that Ellie's kind of an asshole sometimes.
yes,
Yeah,
But
yes,
then,
And
but then you get to see these little moments of stuff she's never observed or been a part of, like the
oh
plane.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Y'all
With
actually flew in
strawberries
the
with no
sky?"
eating.
Y'all were in the
And Joe's
fucking
like,
sky.
"Yeah, all the
Yeah,
fucking time, whatever."
yeah, yeah. Or the
And
seatbelt
then
in
the
the car.
seatbelt.
Yeah,
Yeah, then
yeah.
the seatbelt part, it was just like she'd never been in a car.
Yeah, a
That's
lot of people
crazy to me.
forget that she was born halfway through the timeline of
Mhm.
where we are at in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was born after around 10 years after the whole breakdown of the world kind of happened, and you'd be surprised how much if a post-apocalyptic world were to happen and we were to have for whatever miracle a kid, they're not going to experience the internet. They did. I mean, Ellie didn't experience AOL at that time because that's what probably was popular
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah,
Yeah. AIM.
uh PlayStation, Nintendo, none of that. She was a fan of Mortal Kombat, which by the way, I don't think
yeah,
it was. I think it was the original. Raul said it was 11, but I'm pretty sure that 11 came out or like 10 came out like mid 2010s. Um, but
Going
yeah,
back
like
in
Mortal Kombat
encyclopedias.
11.
yeah,
Mortal Kombat 11 came out in like 2020, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That's
think we're on
what.
12 right now, right?
That's what, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I forgot. I don't know if it was Wetter or you that said it. Oh, look, Mortal Kombat 11. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the original Mortal Kombat. That's
Well,
the first one.
Yeah,
That
she
yeah,
looked
said
like the
Mortal
original
Kombat
Mortal
11.
Kombat.
Oh, did she?
She said Mortal
yeah. She
Kombat
said,
11.
yeah, she said Mortal
Really?
Kombat 11.
I didn't look
So
like
it's
11.
kind of
That was not
right.
11.
That didn't look. That looked
No,
like
No,
that
that
is
was
not.
not 11. Yeah.
I played
Yeah,
the original one. That looked like the
yeah.
original.
That's the
Right.
original one. I don't know. She probably added the script.
I,
Supervisor added that, but I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie, that would have been cool to see her actually playing Mortal Kombat. That would have been sick.
well, I
Or
mean,
to
we
be
get
honest,
a piece of the game in the DLC.
true, yeah, because
Yeah,
we
Fuck you,
they
Stacy.
love throwing like little Easter eggs, like for instance, like in the game, when you're walking around whoever's house, there's like a PS3 there, and then there's like I know there's like a PSP at some point. Like
Yeah.
yeah, there
Motherfuckers in
was
my house.
there was a
yeah.
PS3 in the game. I
Yeah,
missed
there was a
that.
PS3. Like it was on one of the. There was like a because I visualize it right now. There was like a TV, and then like there was like a. It was sitting on like a desk, and
Yeah,
then there was like a little I
The
forget what they
bots with
call
the
it.
curve and whatnot.
Yeah, it was like a cubby. It was a cubby. Yeah, it was a
the
cubby.
Yeah.
And it had the PS3 like inside of it.
Yeah, in
And
that
so,
time
yeah.
it was it's based 2020. So 2013 is when that happened, and then 2030 is when we were taking place in the game, right?
No,
That's the
I don't
time.
know why
2023.
she just didn't
2023. It
follow.
was just 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, it's
yeah,
2023. Yeah,
2023. Yeah,
20 years after the initial.
yeah.
I thought the initial in the game and the initial breakdown was in 2013, and then we go.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the show.
No. Show. I know. And
Yeah.
in the game, it was like 2013 is when it happened, and then we're like
Yeah.
2030. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Uh,
we swifted a little bit to make it more like mundane.
also, speaking of that whole situation with Joel and Ellie now has a gun.
Yeah, she has a little pew pew.
I want to say I want to ask Brad, just because he hasn't played the game. How do you feel now that Ellie now has a gun that Joel doesn't know about?
That
Yeah.
girl needed a gun, honestly.
She had a chicken
Joe
sandwich
was
she
in the
could
wrong.
throw,
That girl
bro.
needs a fucking gun for those fucking shit out there.
She had a chicken sandwich. She would have been fine.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah,
said,
bro.
she'll just throw it. Yeah, I mean, it's.
That girl
I
needed
get
a
it.
gun.
I'm with Joe. I get it. Why would I give a kid a gun when it's
Mhm.
very risky?
This ain't our
But
time though. This is
I also
this is
say I know.
apocalyptic
I know.
fucking mushroom heads
I said
running
it
around.
in my playthrough of the game. I also said it's like I'd be surprised if any kid, it doesn't matter, like if they were born into the apocalypse, I'd be surprised if they were not trained with an arm of some sort, a knife, weapon, whatever. Even if they don't
Right.
have one, I'd be surprised. I would train my siblings or kids if found a random ass child. Because it's like one, it's more protection within the group, and two, it's like you'll know they'll be safe, so you don't have to have your guard up the entire time, and you could actually fucking take shifts sleeping without worry of like something bad happening.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, you're right, Brad. It's like she should.
Yeah,
I love how
honestly,
Frank caused Bill to get hit by distracting.
like I don't think Ellie like hates Joel to the point she's gonna shoot him.
No.
No,
No,
she's
no.
yeah, he's learning that she's trustworthy. She's just
Yeah.
a kid and that's
And
afraid.
that's honestly, I think that's why they did this storyline with Bill and Frank this way, because I feel like it's a good like jumping pad for Ellie to
Yeah.
kind of understand more about like humanity in a way. And it's like
Yeah.
Mhm.
she does, you kind of see it in her face that she kind of like, oh shit, like this really isn't like some fun and games,
Yeah.
like people actually like, because before it was just tests and it's like, okay, but like, did I really know a lot about tests? And it's like, oh no,
Mhm.
I'm reading in this letter that these two people who loved each other now just are dead in there because, well, they're honestly, they're the ones who got the fucking the least of the worries of the fucking virus or whatever it is. Like
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't get
true.
infected. They
Yeah.
just
They
dude
were
just scared.
secured. They had the area.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were just afraid of losing one another to whatever, to anything,
Yeah.
any
Also,
threat.
Max, she goes there like she's a curious person who has never seen any of this. And also, you try telling a little girl that age not to do something, they're just gonna go do it.
Yeah.
Little kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
little
gonna go do it
shits,
anyway.
bro. Yeah,
But
14-year-olds
as a
are little
matter of
shits.
fact, I have about 3 of those girls in my house right now.
Yeah, you're like try telling them, hey, don't go
Yeah.
into the basement alone when it's dark. They'll be
Yeah,
like,
it's like, get out of the
okay,
fucking
uncle,
Yeah,
attic.
with this
we're
one,
gonna go
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna go
mean,
again.
she showed she's just not really afraid of them because she already got bit. She already experienced.
Yeah.
She's kind of
Mhm.
Feels like
even
she's
in the
untouchable.
No,
game.
she got bit twice.
It's not even that. In the game, we realize by the end of it that she's more suicidal than anything. She has a lot of
Yeah.
survivor guilt built onto her throughout the entire first game, and we realized how bad she is mentally by the end of the first part of the first game. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, Ellie, after everything we experienced, like, yeah, no shit, she would not be afraid of like that. But yeah, no, I mean, she did get startled by that clicker or like runner crusher. It was like a mixture of both. He was probably
I
turning
think
into a clicker.
I think it was just a runner that
Yeah,
just got
because it had the clicker noise, but he still had the eyesight. So
yeah.
I don't know. But we see how like kind of mentally, I wouldn't say fucked up, just how much different she is from a regular kid that we see in today's world. She actively went up to it, kind of like played with the brain of it and saw the roots and then went for the kill. Like that's
Well,
kind of
and before this, she had been asking Joel, well, "What's it like to kill them?"
yeah,
Yeah.
Like she was downright
She's
curious.
curious.
yeah.
She's very,
Even
very curious.
we even see it. I know the showrunner said it was like a fascination of her feeling protected by seeing Joel beat the guard up, but it's also that face she did in the first episode with Joel beating the guard up was a little bit of fascination with like, holy shit, he just killed someone,
Yeah.
and we got a glimpse of that by the first of it.
It's kind of like contrasted because you
Yeah,
think about how his daughter reacted, Sarah. You think
yeah,
about how she reacted when Joel killed the old lady who was
yeah.
charging at them, and she was kind of like, she was
What did you do?
starstruck. She was
Yeah,
almost like, you killed her.
yeah.
Like,
And Ellie's
you
more
know,
like, "Good on you, mate."
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's very, very contrasted. Um,
I mean,
so I think,
we even saw in the first trailer on the truck, which I'm guessing is Joel's. We see a sticker that he did tours, either that or he supports the troops or whatever. So he's either did
Okay.
tours or and has done killing, or he's not afraid of that type
I
of
believe he's a
dress.
vet. If I remember correctly, I believe he is a vet.
I don't remember it
I
in
think his
the
brother
game.
might be
I
a
don't.
vet too, just the way he was holding
Oh,
himself.
100%. If they probably went together, that's probably why they're so fucking badass.
Yeah.
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 I don't know
But
in part two, but
yeah,
Um,
bro.
but yeah, if there's any do any of you have any last thoughts
I better
Yeah.
fucking
on?
hear Alone and Forsaken next episode. I need to see that. I need to hear that fucking song, bro. That's the song for the game, at least in my opinion, aside from the
Mhm.
original soundtrack. But Alone and Forsaken, come on, man. Come on. I get it. You get Linda, that's fine. In the game, we actually hear,
Good shout.
because they made it very adamant that Joel is Texan. So we put some country music in the car. But for this one, we had Linda and music. So it's fine. But
Yeah.
I need Alone and Forsaken.
Um, Eben Bolter, this episode's cinematographer, take a bow. You're doing some incredible stuff there, some incredible framing and lighting choices, and
Yep.
some frames that were literally taken from the game. So
Yep.
I was just in love with that part there. Yeah, this series continues to have some great cinematographers behind the camera.
Mhm.
So yeah, just that's my final thoughts on that.
Oh, yep.
I
Right?
think HBO has another hit,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
I mean, yeah, they're not missing right now, and
they're trying to get their money back.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, with this,
WB really fucked them up, huh? Fucked them over.
yeah, but with this episode, it's probably one of the best love stories on television in a while.
In a while, yeah. Also, keep in mind, they said this is the happiest episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not looking
happiest.
forward to what happened. I'm really not.
But
I
I
know
think
it's
this
coming.
is I think this is where we get to breathe a little after those first two, and then you don't get to
Yeah.
breathe until the very end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened in the game.
I'll definitely say, the note that Bill wrote to Joel was it was very. I want to say that was very touching because
It
like
was.
he admits that he never liked Joel, which is funny. He admits that he never liked Joel, but he respected him
Yeah.
And by
because
that
they both
technicality, it was like a
had
friend. Yeah.
right. Because they both had the same goal was to protect the people that they love. And at the time when Bill wrote the note, it was, it was Tess that he knew about. I don't
Yeah.
Ellie wasn't in the
No,
picture.
it was they
So,
died like a
yeah.
week before they met Ellie.
Yeah. So, at the time it was Tess who, Bill knew about.
Yeah.
And it took me back to they've already confirmed season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
HBO is not known to like give 10 whole seasons to something.
Yeah. No.
Nah.
Not at all.
Entourage, I think, might have been the only one to get close.
And
They
also, I would hope
don't got the money for that.
that Neil Druckmann would not like go like, yeah, go ahead and just bastardize my creation, right? Like,
Mhm.
just go ahead and GOT my fucking
I,
creation, like
I
you did
think
to
Yeah.
with season 8. So,
I
like,
think
no,
with
I
this,
yeah,
dependent, you might get 3 or 4 seasons out of it, but
I think
No,
3 is
no.
probably the best.
I
You'll
don't
the
think you.
most.
I wouldn't expect
And
any
that's
more than
if they
that.
release part 3. Because
Yeah.
with all the hype,
Mhm.
he might get his part 3 out and running. He says he's
Well,
got
they've already Neil Druckmann came out and said that alongside him talking about some Uncharted stuff,
yeah.
he said that he for one said that they were done with Uncharted.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna
Good.
go into that like a little bit more this coming Sunday for a new episode of Game Record.
Oh,
There was some
cool.
new information about Uncharted, but alongside that, he said that if the team can create
A
a
compatible
story,
story. Yeah.
a compatible story that's beautiful and worth telling, then there'll be a part 3.
Yeah.
But if not, then they'll move on
Yeah,
Yep.
because he said
from
he left
part
part 2 open ended. I haven't played. Raul hasn't played that part 2. I have
2.
it. Raul has my copy of it. Um, so we gotta do that. Pero he said he left it open ended for part 2. So I mean, I'll take his word for it. You know,
Yeah, but
but yeah,
yeah. With that being said, uh, if there are no final or if there are no last thoughts, on the episode, then we're gonna go ahead and take the spoiler banner down. So from this point forward, no spoiler talk will commence. Um, and also that's going to be the end of our episode
I can't breathe.
today. Today. Thank you guys for coming out to our review on season 1, episode 3 of The Last of Us. Had a great conversation. Thank you to Raul and Brad for jumping on. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully we have y'all for honestly the rest of this season, because I feel like at this point there's kind of no turning back. Especially with
No.
them saying that this is the happiest uh episode. So
So there's gonna be some shit.
dude, you have no idea.
I have no
you have
idea,
no
bro.
idea.
You
I
have
have
no
no
idea.
fucking idea, Brad.
If you see
No.
my tweet, I posted earlier today is like, remember guys, episode 3, as much as we love it, this is Neil said this was the happiest one, and I
Yeah.
don't know if I have the strength to continue on. And I have the meme with Pedro fucking crying, whatever, because he was like auditioning for something, and he's like him crying with the sad song. It's a good meme. It's a good meme.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
Did y'all
buckle
see
up.
that interview with him? And they were going, so do y'all watch movies alone? And he's like, I always watch movies alone, and it's
Oh
just
yeah,
sad
and
music
nobody,
in the background.
yeah, nobody fucking paid attention to his joke, dude. I was like, oh, I'm like, same,
Aw.
dude. He looked sad too, like it hit him. The one time he's not funny on interviews, that one time hit him. But I feel more bad that
Yeah,
the other people didn't check his joke. But yeah,
yeah, guys. That's gonna be it here. And Louise, I'll have you send them out.
all right, ladies and gents. You know, buckaroos, ballerinas, all in between. If a post-apocalyptic world happened, you know, don't wait until it happens. Go out there, experience life. We can't have our guard up 24/7. So, you know, allow yourself to be vulnerable every now and then. You don't have to change your character. Just be a little vulnerable. You can hate people. You can like people. But always find something or someone that you find purpose in life, or at least keeps purpose in your life, because at the end of the episode, yes, it was a kind of a beautiful thing that they did, a sort of poetic Shakespearean way of ritual suicide. But if you're dealing with that type of stuff, definitely talk with someone about it, a loved one, a professional. But always have something to keep you going. Find something a little bit. Try if you want to finish. Live until you finish One Piece. That'll keep you
Oh,
going for a
God.
couple of years.
Holy God! A couple of years.
I'm gonna die before that shit ends.
Yeah,
That's
what I'm
fine.
saying.
We'll die
God.
from natural causes and from self harm. I'd
Find me
prefer
in the
that.
chair with my eyes open, like, oh God. Love me.
But yeah, find a
But
book.
also,
Find a series.
I'll throw this in. I'm gonna throw this in. Louise, make sure you guys, on this coming Sunday, it's can someone give me the date on this coming Sunday? Make sure you guys check out the Game Record. We appreciate y'all in chat, Stacy and Max. Make sure you guys check out the Game Record this coming Sunday, where we're going to be discussing February 5th. Okay, February 5th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you guys check out the Game Record here. We're going to be streaming, and we're going to have some talk on the new Uncharted news, and a lot more. While Brad and Raul fuse into Brawl. So,
I wonder what that fucked up fusion would look like.
Roll with a beard.
All right, Louise, go ahead and finish.
Yeah, if you need someone to talk to, go ahead and talk to someone, because it's hard right here, even if it isn't a post-apocalyptic world. It feels like it. But yeah, catch us next time when we talk about Uncharted. Catch us next time when we talk about episode 4. I hope it doesn't end how I think it's gonna end. Maybe that'll be episode 5.
It probably will.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid, but buckle up, buckaroos. Get your seatbelt, and if you don't know what a seatbelt is, just get the little strap. Just don't fall out of the car. We'll catch you next time.
And you clip it in, just goes click.
Oh, where is it?